lead of the game, 57-45, with 9:13 to go in the third quarter, and clearly and decisively have taken control over this game after they trailed by as many as 10 points in that first half and struggled out of the gate with a hot shooting Indiana Fever team that has been beset by injuries this entire season. And since about a couple minutes to go in that second quarter, just flipping a switch. Nafisa Collier leads all scorers with 19 points on 8 for 10 shooting, 6 rebounds for her as well. She is just 1 point shy of her 19th 20-point game this season. She still leads the WNBA in scoring. Asia Wilson is just behind her via 23.5 points per game. Wilson at 23.2 points per game. But over this 10-game win streak, she's been averaging about 28 points per game. So coming for that mantle, but of course with Fee and the Minnesota Lynx, the goal is much, much bigger. A minute into this third quarter, the Fever with the basketball out of the timeout. Mitchell on a pick and roll with Boston, works their way through multiple defenders and puts it back up and in. And Smith might have taken a shot maybe to the midsection. She kind of bent over and hinged at the half, but as we just have come to expect, she is back and battling against Boston to try and get the basketball on the offensive end. Now 10 to shoot for the Minnesota Lynx, leading still by 10. Smith backs her down in the paint, but does drag her feet, so a travel there by the Lynx. 8:36 on the clock, 57-47 is Minnesota's lead, and they, in a lot of ways, are cruising. They are shooting 65% in this contest, 8 of 13 from long range. Ball is up for grabs on the floor. Boston trying to pull it away from Smith, and it's going to be a jump ball coming up. Boston started this game hot. 4 for 4 shooting, had 8 points in the opening minutes, but she's only at 10 right now. With 4 rebounds, too, so her impact has been diminished. And something I talked to Coach Reeve about when we were on the road was about the difference in the front courts between the Atlanta Dream and Indiana Fever, who they played in back-to-back road games. Minnesota didn't arrive in Indianapolis to their hotel till 2 a.m. the night before a game, or I guess morning of the game, as Minnesota wins that jump ball, takes over possession offensively. And she said they're just completely different. The combination of Brittany Griner, Bree Jones, and then this group of Boston and also Natasha Howard. So to go back-to-back, having to adjust so much, really says a lot about the defense of players like Alana Smith. 5 seconds to shoot from Minnesota. Courtney Williams weaves her way into the paint, drops it inside, but Smith is stripped by the quick hands of Kelsey Mitchell. She accelerates quickly up the floor, attacks right at Courtney Williams, and that is a 94-foot-2 for Kelsey Mitchell. 57-49, Minnesota still with the lead. Penetrating is Williams. Collier sets her feet for 3, misfires. That's no good. Skyen for the offensive rebound. Carlton, the 3 on the way by Smith, also off target. So Minnesota comes up empty on that possession with a couple of opportunities. Howard into the front court. Hall has been subdued in this game as well after she scored a career-high 23 against this Lynx team 2 nights ago. Mitchell is going to reset here, waiting for a high screen from Howard. Being guarded by McBride, doesn't get a shot off. Howard takes off right at Collier and earns the whistle. Collier was trying to stick with her. This is a matchup of 2 players who have great length and physicality, 2 defensive-minded players as well. Of course, Natasha Howard, a 3-time champion, including with the Minnesota Lynx in 2017. Sideline out of bounds. The ball comes into Aerial Power. She can't save it in time. And it's going to be Minnesota basketball. Powers making her Indiana Fever debut. Has only played 2 other games of the W this season when she was briefly with the Golden State Valkyries here on an emergency 7-day contract as Williams gets it over half court. Minnesota back into the flow offensively. McBride and Collier pick and roll, slipping her way into the paint as Collier, and she is fouled. That's what makes Minnesota so potent, so lethal offensively. And that's why I had so much fun talking with Alana Smith, if you caught our conversation during our halftime show, about the nuances and intricacies of screen setting and how, as Coach Reeve says, it has to give our offense an advantage. Otherwise, it's pretty worthless, and Minnesota does that in an incredible rate. Williams has Boston on her. She's going to take her off the dribble, put up a long 2, rattle it home, and plus the foul. Courtney Williams is having fun with that matchup, seeing the 6'5" center right in front of her, and said, "Here's how I'm going to beat you." .656 on the clock. Courtney Williams will knock down the free throw to complete the three-point play. 60-49 is Minnesota's lead, but in a blur, here comes Kelsey Mitchell responding right back. Mitchell has been trying to keep the Fever afloat. She's got 20 points on 7 for 9 shooting. She's been the one bright spot so far. Smith will pump fake, leave it for Courtney Williams. Williams again matched up on the switch by Boston. She gets the step against Boston, weaving, floating, and finishing. Courtney Williams says, please keep switching on me. I'm going to take you right to the rim this time. 62-51, Minnesota in command, and an offensive foul called against the Fever, and McBride is hunched over. She may have taken a shot right to the mouth, or at least that's what she's favoring right now. Staying on the floor, testing things out, making sure everything's in place. Every tooth, your lips, and she's back on defense as Maria Kliundakova will check back in for the Minnesota Lynx. She had 11 first half points. Just looks so poised and composed. Back on the offensive end, Williams will scoot over to the left side of the floor, finds Collier. She is going to be, it looks like blocked at the rim. She was looking for a foul there as multiple Fever players collapsed around her. She was attacking. She's trying to make the case. This was hitting the head from behind. Aerial Powers comes down with that right hand and attempting to make that block. It looks like it was a clean block by Boston, but either way, Collier comes away on top with another bucket on the interior. She's got 21 points, and that is her 19th 20-point game this season, and we've got 5:50 to go in this third quarter. She has been unstoppable. Aaliyah Boston taking Kliundakova to the rim, but Kliundakova able to recover and deter that shot. She misses a layup. Just an excellent game for Maria Kliundakova. Williams picks up her dribble, gets it over to Kliundakova, just playing so confident, so solid for the Minnesota Lynx. Slips the screen, and Carlton is fouled as she was smothered along the sideline trying to get it away. 64-51, Minnesota with the lead, 5:27 to play as Brianna Turner will check back in for the Indiana Fever. On the floor for Minnesota, Carlton, McBride, Williams, Kliundakova, and Collier. And Shea Petty's going to check in for Aerial Powers, making her Indiana Fever debut. Shea Petty just in her second game for the Fever. Into Carlton. Guarding her is Mitchell. Kliundakova giving a look inside. Collier wants it. She fades without putting the dribble down and rattles it home for two. She was able to get Bree Turner on her back, and that's when she knows how to pounce. Just a turnaround jump shot, unstoppable. 23 points, 10 for 14 shooting. And with how efficient Collier has been this entire season, still absolutely remarkable. Courtney Williams with the steal. McBride in transition, can't quite handle it. Hull comes away from the backside underneath to force that turnover intended for Collier inside. 66-51 is Minnesota's lead at midway through the third quarter. Boston wants it inside. Collier is defending. Any pass coming her way. Floating it off glass for two is Shea Petty on a really quick attack. Minnesota leads by 13, 66-53. They've led by as many as 15 points. Collier leading the way with 23. She's got the basketball right now, and Turner providing chest-to-chest defense even far outside the perimeter. Kliundakova, the ball handler, in the ball screen. Backing down against Boston, will spin, loses her footing, falls to the ground, and she's going to cough it up to Lexi Hull, trying to go one-on-one there against Aaliyah Boston. Here comes Lexi Hull into the front court. To open is going to be Kelsey Mitchell. Almost a 4-point play. She lands in the lap of a fan on the sideline, a fan who was wearing an Iowa shirt, so presumably rooting for the Fever in this case. But 3 free throws are going to be coming up. That was a strong closeout by Courtney Williams, but couldn't quite contain herself as a timeout is called on the floor. 4:10 to play here in the third quarter. 66-53 is Minnesota's lead. It's another can't-miss a Western Conference clash at our place as the Lynx host the Seattle Storm on Thursday, August 28th. Be in the building and experience the energy of Lynx basketball. Get your tickets now at lynxbasketball.com/tickets. Well, Minnesota coming into this game 29-7 this season. They have lost just one time in 18 games here at Target Center. A win today would mean back-to-back 30-win seasons. They would become the 5th team in WNBA history to a 30-win season. Their magic number to secure home court advantage for the entirety of the playoffs is 3. So they are closing in on what would be a really important designation for this team to be that number 1 seed, to have home court advantage throughout the entire playoffs. And something interesting too, Minnesota with an .806 winning percentage. That is second in franchise history behind the 2016 team, because obviously there's more games, more opportunities for wins to build on that and set a new franchise record, which Minnesota is in line to do. That was set last year with those 30 wins by 2024 squad. But to beat that mark when it comes to win percentage, the Lynx would have to win out, finish 37-7. So certainly not out of the realm of possibility for this team. As Kelsey Mitchell nets her 3rd free throw. It is a 10-point game, 66-56 with 4 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. Minnesota took control of this one in the closing minutes of the 2nd, closed on an 11-0 run. Have kept their foot on the gas since, but Indiana pesky in the same way. Here's Courtney Williams getting a 3 to fall. That's her 2nd triple today. She's got now 10 points, 9 assists for the Minnesota Lynx, and 0 turnovers today. Sweeping her way across the paint, a wild shot by Kelsey Mitchell is missed, igniting the Minnesota fast break. Courtney Williams, the mid-range is left short, but the offensive putback follow by Kliunjakova is good for 2. What a game for Maria Kliunjakova, 13 points. She is I should say she's now shooting 6 for 7 from the floor. Just an outstanding appearance by Maria Kliunjakova, who was picked up by this team earlier this season after she was cut by the LA Sparks out of camp. Here's Shea Petty knocking down another 3 for herself. She's 2 for 2 from long range. In fact, 4 for 4 overall in her 2nd game with the Indiana Fever. 71-59 is Minnesota's lead. Now in the hands of Courtney Williams. She's going to drive into the paint. She'll lose the basketball, and that'll be her first turnover. She took a hard spill, taking her time getting up from the floor. She just kind of ran into traffic, lost control of the basketball, took a hard hit in the process. And it looks like Letitia Heideman's going to be checking in for her. It looks like Coach Reeve is going to be using her challenge right now, trying to contend that Courtney Williams was fouled. I mean, she came down hard as she worked her way through traffic. So a timeout right now with 2:53 on the clock, as this refereeing crew of Mike Forsberg, Ryan Sassano, and Tyler Murvich are going to take a second look at this one, with Minnesota leading 71-59. Lynx fans, there's still time to get in on this year's Rebel auction. Bid on game-worn jerseys, signed all-star jerseys, and autographed mystery items. All proceeds support the Minnesota Fast Break Foundation. Visit lynxbasketball.com/auction to place your bids now. Well, Jessica Shepard is checking into the game as well, and I think notable in this one is that she's only played 6 minutes. It just seemed like Maria Kliunjakova has been the trusted hot hand right now. She's got 13 points on 6 of 7 shooting for the Minnesota Lynx. But a game after the 2nd triple-double in franchise history, some limited minutes here for Jessica Shepard as she moves back to the bench. But I mentioned Kliunjakova on that 3-game road trip. 7 points, 4 rebounds, 50% shooting. She has just been dependable in every facet of this game in the minutes that she's been given. We wait the result of this coach's challenge. It looks like Shea Petty might have come down hard on her from behind. Williams was driving some paint, scratched hard into the floor after receiving some kind of contact. It was originally a no call and a turnover for the Minnesota Lynx, her first of this game. But Williams has responded well. 11 points, 9 rebounds for her on 50% shooting. And awaiting the outcome of what this challenge might be. Collier picking up right where she left off. It's like she hasn't even been gone for 7 games. 23 points for her on 10 of 14 shooting, 7 rebounds to go along with that. A couple three-pointers as well. And that was something that Stephanie White talked about coming into this game. Still preparing for Nafisa Collier to play. She's coming in about the different dynamic that she brings, that a lot of the principles are the same. And that's what makes Minnesota so difficult. A lot of these principles are the same. They play the same way, but also her presence makes things so different simultaneously. And that is how Minnesota's been able to capitalize in her absence, going 5-2 without her on the floor. When you look at Indiana, Kelsey Mitchell with 23 points. She's leading the way on 70% shooting. She's also 7 for 8 from the free throw line. And the Indiana Fever continue to shoot really well, 52%, but Minnesota, at this point in the game, this deep in, 61% as a team, including 9 for 16 from beyond the arc. Maybe we'll have a resolution here soon. Originally a no call, a turnover on the Minnesota Lynx, giving possession to the Indiana Fever. Head coach Cheryl Reeve brings a challenge. Minnesota, one of the most successful teams in the WNBA when it comes to success rate with challenges, second only to the Las Vegas Aces in the scheme of the WNBA head coaches. Minnesota leads 71-59 with 2:54 on the clock here in the third quarter. Still awaiting what this final result might be after this challenge.
After replay review, the call has been determined to be a successful challenge.
And it is another successful challenge for Coach Reeve and her staff. Credit again to Maddie Schiller, Celia Marfone, who team up from both in analytics and a video perspective. So looking at the video, deciding, is this going to be a successful challenge? And then evaluating the actual game opportunity. What does this mean? Does this have an opportunity to result in points or take away points? There's so much that goes in to those really quick and tense and exciting huddles when deciding to bring a challenge. So it's Minnesota Lynx basketball. Heidemann along the baseline is going to lob it out to Shepard. She has to reel it in from Powers, and she's out. On the floor for Minnesota is Shepard, Kliudakova, Heidemann, McBride, and Carlton. So this also feels like a relatively not new lineup, but maybe one we don't see quite as often. 2:53 to go here in the third quarter. Minnesota leads 71-59 over the Indiana Fever. Took control of this game. The closing minutes of the second quarter have not relinquished that dominance since. Shepard going to call for an offensive foul. She was trying to move around the screen, and Kelsey Mitchell looks like she's really hurt. She is rolling around on the floor, holding on to her nose or her mouth, and now this play is going to be reviewed because Mitchell definitely took a shot to her face. And Shepard was trying to get herself free as the time was winding down. She was being hounded along the perimeter and was trying to find some space for herself. And that elbow may have made some inadvertent contact. Luckily now, Kelsey Mitchell is back out on her feet, but I'm sure that did not feel good. It was originally, like I said, appeared to be in a lot of pain. Minnesota still leads 71-59. And this refereeing crew looking to see if there is going to be an elevation of this call. Was there any excessive or unnecessary contact? As Shepard had it along the perimeter, was surrounded by a couple of players, including Brianna Turner. Coming in was Kelsey Mitchell. And did that elbow come out and elevate that contact to unnecessary? 71-59 is Minnesota's lead. Our second consecutive review here. Minnesota successful on that previous challenge. And this could be significant here too. Because we're talking about potentially free throws and the basketball for the Indiana Fever, who we know from watching them these last two games can get hot. They're 6 of 10 shooting from beyond the arc. It really has been this for Kelsey Mitchell today, with her 23 points on 70% shooting. A lot of players I think Minnesota has been able to eliminate in this game. Shea Petty with points. That's maybe something you give up compared to the other threats that are on the floor for the Fever. But Minnesota has won 3 straight against the Indiana Fever, and they've scored at least 90 points in all 3 of them. That includes, obviously, just 2 nights ago, but Minnesota is looking to beat Indiana 4 straight times for the first time since a stretch from 2019 to 2021. So it's been some time since Minnesota has had this kind of stretch in this series. Of course, the Indiana Fever playing without 5 players. Caitlin Clark is here talking to a WNBA staffer right now, obviously in street clothes, and the team continues to say there's no specific timeline for her return from a groin injury that has kept her to playing only 13 games this season, hoping that she'll be back by the end of the regular season as this Indiana Fever team battles for a playoff spot, not just positioning, but getting in. They're without Ari McDonald, has a broken bone in her right foot. Sophie Cunningham tore her ACL. She's out for the season. Chloe Bibby is also out as well with a knee injury, and she did not travel with the team either. So the list has just continued to grow for this Fever squad. And Minnesota wants an opportunity to try and further put them to rest here with 2:43 to go here in the third quarter. And it looks like we might have some results on if this play could be elevated.
After review, the call has been upgraded to a flagrant 1 penalty.
And it has been upgraded to a flagrant 1 penalty.
2 shots in Indiana.
So this refereeing crew, in this instance, finding that unnecessary contact. So Mitchell good on that free throw. She's got one more coming up, and the ball will belong to the Fever. It's now 71-60. Mitchell, her second free throw is good. And it is Fever basketball. Shea Petty going to take it out. Minnesota still leading by 10. They've led by as many as 15 points, and they've been able to maintain a comfortable cushion since the closing minutes of that second quarter, certainly here in the third. Petty now going to work. Extended defense by Heidemann. They'll work through Boston High post. Kliundakova guarding her. She's going to use this screen. Now has Heidemann on her as well. Backdoor cut by Mitchell. Minnesota prevents her getting the basketball. 10 seconds to shoot. Turner wants it against Shepard. 2 former Notre Dame Fighting Irish players. Petty off the dribble. Floats it up inside. That's no good. And bringing the rebound is Kliundakova. That's her 3rd rebound today with her 13-point effort. Carlton left open for 3 in transition. She's got it. Carlton with her first goal today. She's got 5 points, 3 rebounds. She hit that dagger against the team in closing minutes 2 nights ago as Powers is stopped at the rim, gets her own offensive rebound, then she's fouled. And then she got a steal right after that to further solidify Minnesota's win. That put this team up by 7 points, secured that steal. And in the game before that, Carlton with a season-high 16 points at Atlanta. Minnesota right now up 74-61, 158 to play in the third quarter. And foul going on the Minnesota Lynx, and it's Fever basketball. A 13-point lead. Petty trying to get downhill, stomps on a dime. Boston thought about a 3. Will drive against Kliundakova, leaving it out for Petty, and she will drain a 3. Shea Petty 3 for 3 for long range. She's got 14 points. The second leading scorer on the Fever right now. The second leading scorer on her team, 3rd in the game. Carlton, pump fake, step back 3 is no good. That was a confident shot by Bridget Carlton. And it will be Indiana basketball with the long rebound. A 10-point lead for the Lynx that the Fever are looking to cut into here in the closing 90 seconds of this third quarter. Powers weaves her way through traffic, a hard take, and she will not get the bounce. Rebound to Shepard, who will accelerate up the floor. Baseball pass up ahead into Carlton, who tried to shuffle it off to Carrington. And that will be a Minnesota turnover as the Lynx getting a little flashy there with their transition offense. But this is a Lynx team that is amongst the leaders in fast break points. They've been top 1 through 3 this entire season. Most really potent in that way. 105 remaining in the third quarter. A 10-point lead for the Lynx, 74-64. And Collier has checked back into this game. She's played 22 minutes at this 3-point. She is plus 19 with 23 points and 7 rebounds. Oh, and on 10 for 14 shooting. Here's Kelsey Mitchell trying to get downhill, turns the other direction. Boston is going to put up a 3. That is no good. And Boston this season just 21% from long range, but the ball's out of bounds. Minnesota couldn't corral the possession, so the Fever will still have it down by 10. 50.9 seconds left, and Sims will be the inbounder along the baseline. Sims into Kelsey Mitchell, catch and shoot. She'll miss. Turner will battle for it, but hauled in by Natisha Heidemann, showing off her vertical, going for that loose ball. She's into the front court, guarded by Sims very tightly. Collier will face up. Give it to the left side of the floor. Carrington, one dribble. The 3 is good. Dejanay Carrington, and now with 5 points in 9 minutes for the Lynx. 27 seconds on the clock before the fourth quarter. Boston double teamed right at the block. She kicks it out to Sims. Hall given a look inside. She will drive and then retreats. About a 10-second different shot in game clock. 5 seconds now for Fever to shoot. Sims is going to throw it inside. Boston turnaround, and that is good right as that buzzer is going off. Still an 11-point lead for the Lynx, 77-66. Heidemann with the final shot before the Lynx. She'll wait for a screen from Collier. Patient around it. They get the switch. She goes inside, and Minnesota will not get a shot off in time. But we head to the fourth quarter. The Lynx leading 77-66. They continued to cruise there in that third quarter, take a double-digit lead to the final frame here at Target Center. We're going to step aside. You're listening to Minnesota Lynx basketball.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts. All in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
When you work undercover, you really have to play the role because you stand to lose more than just an Oscar. If you make a mistake, these people will kill you in the blink of an eye.
If the American government asked you to move to Colombia to hunt down the world's most brutal narco-terrorist, what would you say?
I was a rookie policeman shaking in my boots.
In the 1980s, a new generation of American special agents landed in Latin America, tasked with capturing a new breed of ultra-violent narco-terrorist.
She would kill you if you owed her money. She would kill you if you encroached on her territory. She would kill you if you personally insulted her. Sometimes she would just kill you for the fun of it.
He had all the resources in the world, hundreds of millions of dollars.
A man that could have a political candidate running for president assassinated on stage. This was war.
My name is John Cuban. I'm the host of a new podcast series called Real Narcos. It follows the stories of the world's most dangerous drug lords and the American special agents who hunted them down.
Here you are, a doorway away from the most wanted man in the world. You're not expecting him to go down without a fight.
We didn't have sophisticated software. That didn't exist. The software was a pen and paper.
The only destiny drug traffickers have is either prison or death.
Real Narcos sits down with the fearless agents and journalists who were there on the ground at the time to tell the inside story of the hunt for some of history's most dangerous criminal masterminds. These guys are the real deal. And this is Real Narcos.
Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one.
Fourth quarter here at Target Center in downtown Minneapolis. Sloan Martin along with you. The Minnesota Lynx leading the Indiana Fever 77-66. It was the closing minutes of the second quarter that Minnesota just took control of this game. They outscored the Fever in that quarter 27-15. They have led by as many as 15 points and kept their foot on the gas to maintain this double-digit cushion. Now Minnesota looking to close against this Fever team that's been beset by injury. Led by Kelsey Mitchell's 25 points on 7 for 11 shooting, but Minnesota has the MVP back in Nafisa Collier. 23 points for her, 7 rebounds on 10 for 14 shooting, 2 assists for her as well. And it will be Fever basketball to start this fourth quarter. 77-66 is Minnesota's lead as Sims weaves her way into the front court to work it through Boston. Now on the left side of the floor, Powers looking for Hall. Carrington almost deflects it away. Sims far away from the basket. She's double teamed in the pass passing lane is Carrington. She chases after it. 9 seconds to shoot for the Indiana Fever. You can just tell that Dejanay Carrington is bringing that intensity right now in her minutes on the floor. 10 minutes for her, and we were able to ask Stephanie White about coaching her for a couple seasons, including last year where she was all defense, most improved player in the WNBA as well, and she said it is her competitiveness. Someone who works incredibly hard was how she described her time coaching Dejanay Carrington over with the Sun. 5 seconds to shoot. Boston with the basketball, in trouble, finds Brianna Turner, not someone you often see shooting a three. She misses. Lexi Hall will miss on the interior, and Minnesota protects the paint. They lead by 11 still, first possession of this fourth quarter. Hide them in, turn it on. The Jets getting to the rim. That was affected by Turner, and the Fever will take back over, down 11 points. Sims takes the contact from Carrington. She thought she was sliding her feet, staying step for step with Sims, but that foul will go on Carrington, and that's going to be her second. Williams has 3. No one else has more than 2. Into Lexi Hall, and she'll hand it off to Sims. Minnesota still leading by 11. Start of the fourth quarter here. Sims surveying, gets it over to Boston on the pick and roll. Boston goes over her head to a putting Turner, but she misses at close range. That would have been an easy 2 for the Fever. Here was Collier putting her head down, attacking, floating right to Turner, and it goes. Nafisa Collier has scored in every way imaginable tonight. She has got 25 points, her 13th game of at least that mark this season. Sims lining up a 3 in response. That rims out, and another rebound for Collier. That is 8 to go along with her 25 points. Going up ahead to Carrington, just outside of her reach. We know she can speed down the floor, but even that a little too much. And it will be a Minnesota turnover. They have 12 of them today. Courtney Williams comes back in. Natasha Howard also, well, she's at the scorer's table, not quite in just yet, the Fever, but Williams also with a great game under her belt. 11 points, 9 rebounds, and 0 turnovers. She's got 6 games this season of 0 turnovers. Looking to make that today with 8:22 to go. Boston maneuvering around the perimeter will hand it off to Power to get free against Carrington. She has to retreat. Now attacking against Alana Smith, and Alana Smith forces her to put up an air ball at about 4 feet out. 79-66 is Minnesota's lead. Here is Heidemann, the quick 3, just grazes iron on the opposite side. And Powers with a weak side rebound, going 1-on-3, slices her way in and will score. Powers, her first game with the Fever, has got 5 points now on 2 for 6 shooting. And 8 minutes to go here at Target Center. Williams slows up, then accelerates, finds Collier at the free throw line, and she is fouled. 2 free throws coming up here on that jump shot attempt. Collier just 1 for 1 for the free throw line today, and she is 1 rebound away from what would be her 6th double-double this season, and actually her first since June 8th, when she had 5 in a row, when she really put her stamp on the MVP conversation from the very get-go. First free throw is good for Collier. Lynx Basketball is brought to you by Treasure Island Resort and Casino, the exclusive casino partner of the Minnesota Lynx. On the floor for Minnesota, Carrington, Collier, Smith, Williams, and McBride. And Collier goes 2 for 2. She's got 27 points in her return from a 7-game absence from an ankle injury, on 11 of 15 shooting, and is 1 rebound shy of a double-double. What a way to make your return when you've missed a chunk of time here in August. Foul is going to go, it looks like, on Carrington. And Carrington, that will be number 3. So both her and Williams with 3 personal fouls apiece. Carrington staying on the floor. Minnesota up 81-68. 7:33 to go. Minnesota still, this late in the game, shooting 61% as a team. Here Kelsey Mitchell gets it in, gives it back to the inbounder, and Sims takes her time trying to turn the corner, picks up her dribble at the elbow, finds Kelsey Mitchell. Thought about a jump shot, maybe should have taken it. Instead, she kicks it out. Hull will feed inside to Natasha Howard facing up against Smith, puts up a jump shot, and it's either an air ball or a 24-second violation, or no, a foul? That's going to go on Smith right as the shot clock expired. They're going to say that she just got a piece of Howard's wrist as she was going up for that jump shot, standing at the elbow, face up, jab fake, put up the jump shot. And she earns herself a trip to the free throw line. For Smith, that is her third personal foul. So 3 main rotation players with 3 personals apiece, but 7:19 to play. And Howard, good on the first. She's got 7 points on 3 of 5 shooting. Both her and Boston, 15 attempts combined. I would call that keeping them in check. Howard's second free throw is good. 81-70 is Minnesota's lead. They have led by as many as 15 points, and Minnesota's going to have to use a timeout when the Fever brings some full court pressure, and Minnesota was not prepared. Collier couldn't get the ball in at that point, and a timeout is called with 7:19 to go in the fourth quarter. Minnesota still with a double-figure lead, 81-70, right here at Target Center. You're listening to Minnesota Lynx basketball.
This is Alana Smith.
Williams working with Nafisa Collier's screen. They get the switch wide open. Alana Smith from 3. Yes!
Roll with us this season and help make our house the best home court advantage in the league.
No! Down the Minnesota Lynx here in the fourth.
Tip off your holiday weekend early with another can't-miss Western Conference clash as the Lynx host the Seattle Storm on Thursday, August 28th. Be in the building and help make our house roar. Get your tickets now at lynxbasketball.com/tickets.
At Target, we're home court advantage for the hometown sports fans. And with the Timberwolves season in full gear, we're here to help you gear up and make your game day prep a slam dunk. Hear that? That's what you call a buzzer-beating three-pointer for the win. Time to dish up your famous nachos or put a full-court press on some jalapeno poppers. Then serve up some sweet dessert to celebrate the W. However you do game day, we're here for it at Target.com.
Alex Leibold here with you in our WNBA Tonight studios for one more scoreboard update. 2 other games going on in the WNBA on this Sunday. They have both gone final. The Lynx and the Fever, the only game going on right now. The Seattle Storm were in the nation's capital facing off against the Washington Mystics. They had a 14-point lead in that game. Mystics fought their way back, and it was tied at 82 with time running out. And then a Nneka Ogwumike jumper to win the game with just 1.2 seconds left. She finishes the game with 30 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. The Storm have now won 4 of their last 5, and they climb up to 7th in the WNBA standings, while the Mystics are now down to 10th, 3 games behind the 8th place Valkyries. And those Valkyries are in Dallas. They finish the contest with a 90-81 win over Paige Beckers and the Dallas Wings. With that result, the Wings now have the worst record in the WNBA. Valkyries find themselves in the 8th and final playoff spot, 1 game ahead of the Los Angeles Sparks. Veronica Burton had a 25-point, 13-assist double-double in that contest as Valkyries have a 3-game losing streak. Let's head back into Target Center for the finish with Sloan Martin.
Thanks, Alex. It's really fun to watch what is going on behind the Minnesota Lynx, who are the only team so far to clinch a playoff berth at this point at 29-7. But a quick note about Nneka Ogwumike having a 30-point game. I mean, this is someone who is now trying to make it 14 straight seasons, shooting over 50% from the floor. She continues, frankly, to be a force in the WNBA, one of the greats that this league has seen, and badly needed clearly by her team tonight. It's Minnesota Lynx basketball coming out of the timeout, leading 81-70. Is Courtney Williams, guarded by Lexi Hall, surveying the off-ball offense. Here's Kayla McBride, not able to get free against Kelsey Mitchell. Maybe turned it down, clapped her, maybe wanted that one back. 5 seconds to shoot for Williams. Still a lot of dribbling here. Up and under, through, and it's no good for Courtney Williams. But the offensive rebound she skies for, can't put it back down. Alana Smith comes up with it with her battle on the glass. Williams lines up a 3. It's good. Courtney Williams comes up with the 3 for the Minnesota Lynx. She's 14 points going with her 9 assists now and still sitting at 0 turnovers. Here is Hall along the baseline, returns the favor long range. It is 84-73 Minnesota. They continue to maintain this double-digit lead, even without getting stopped there. Collier will reverse it. Williams still looking for it. Collier holding on to the basketball. Things out sorts here offensively for the Lynx. Carrington is trying to post up Kelsey Mitchell down in the paint, but otherwise spread out and lacking some cohesion right here. But it looks like Alana Smith hit the deck hard. So did Shea Petty. And a foul is going to go on the Fever. It's going to be the second team foul on the Fever. 6:09 to go on the floor for the Minnesota Lynx. McBride, Smith, Carrington getting some big fourth quarter minutes here. Williams and Collier. Carrington gets it into Smith. 10 seconds now to shoot for this Lynx possession offensively. Collier, she wants it at the elbow just outside of her range, and then she was hit by Holm. So now the third team foul on the Fever. 84-73 is Minnesota's lead with 6 minutes to play in the fourth quarter here at Target Center. Minnesota seeking its 30th win this season and to lock up back-to-back 30-win seasons. Last year, that's setting a franchise record. Collier has it straight on. 10 seconds to shoot yet again. Williams using that pick and roll from Collier, and yet another foul is going to go against the Fever. That could be their fourth personal foul, so the next one puts Minnesota in the bonus. We have 5:53 to play in this game. We've been whistle after whistle after whistle on this possession. 14 now to shoot for Minnesota. Facing up is Smith. She loses it all on the baseline, just taken away by Aaliyah Boston, and Fever regained possession, leading 84-73. 5:45 to play right here at Target Center. McBride guarding the ball handler and Petty. Petty will get it over to Boston. Boston gets free, floats it up in. Smith just got caught, was trying to go for that steal, and then Boston just had to set herself as she turned around. It is a 9-point lead, 84-75. This is led by double digits for a good while here. Last time it was even below that threshold. You have to go back to the 6:47 mark of the third quarter when Minnesota led 60-59. Otherwise, Minnesota has had a double-digit cushion, so this is the closest it has been since the 6:40 mark of the third quarter. So she's fouled just now, and Minnesota will be shooting free throws the final 5:25 of this game. She will knock the first, and is 4 for 4 from the free throw line this season. And Collier, it's a big area where her game has elevated this season. Shooting 90% from the charity stripe this year. She knocks down both. 86-75 is Minnesota's lead, and Collier with 29 points. Getting the steal is the Lynx. Collier one-on-one with Howard, takes it outside. I think her teammates get back in, and something was on the court. It was a piece of the brush or mop that they used to clean the floor. I think the person who was cleaning it must have broken off from the handle and was left on the floor. Thank goodness Courtney Williams realized that. It was able to move it before anyone else was barreling down the court. Still Minnesota basketball leading back again by 11, 86-75. McBride giving a look inside to Collier. Collier dribbling across the lane, fading over the outstretched arm of Howard, who's got great length. And Collier will miss there. Speeding down the floor is Howard, and she will convert at the rim. A strong and fast take by Natasha Howard. Is back to a 9-point lead, 86-75. Minnesota trying to shake the Fever once and for all. McBride takes the handoff. It goes off her foot, tracked down by Williams. No backcourt violation. And Collier draws the foul on Howard. Just a pump fake got her up in the air, and then she started to drive right into Howard. It's fun to watch matchups like this because, of course, Collier is going to get a team's best defender, but especially one who has the prowess of Natasha Howard, who was the Defensive Player of the Year in 2019, has been named to the All-Defensive Team a handful of times, too. It's Collier good with her first free throw. She's 6 for 6, sitting at 29 points. Actually, now 30 points and 9 rebounds. And for Collier this season, her 6th 30-point game of the year. And this is the next free throw. 87-77 is Minnesota's lead. Getting down the stretch here. 4:30 to go. Kelsey Mitchell uses a high screen. Boston trying to get downhill, goes right into the chest of Alana Smith, but Smith rips it away and earns a jump ball. The praise she is getting from her teammates right now. Courtney Williams, a huge smile on her face, pushed her with both hands into the shoulders to celebrate that kind of effort. I mean, her teammates talk about it night in and night out, even unprompted. They know what Alana Smith does for this team every single night with her effort, her ferocity. And a jump ball here with Boston. It's going to be won by Boston. And 10 to shoot for Fever. Petty gets into the paint, dribbles it back out. Hole now goes right to Collier, coughs it up, and Collier comes away with the basketball. She was trying to wrestle it free. It looked like now Natasha Howard had taken the shot to the face. And that foul is going to go on Collier, and she's pointing to herself. Me? Arms out looking for an explanation. Howard was very close to her, really had her chest on Collier's back, and Collier trying to rip that ball free. So it's going to be Fever basketball. They'll lob it in to Howard, and she will hand it off to Petty to go to work offensively as the brand new point guard of this team. Kelsey Mitchell faces up. A well-contested shot doesn't go from long range, and the rebound to McBride, and yet another whistle is going to go on the Fever. This time it was Hull, the exact same sequence where she was extremely close, draped over McBride as she got that rebound. And then McBride was trying to clear some space for herself, and the foul is going to go there on Hull. Now it looks like they're going to review this play. And could this be a similar situation, looking to possibly elevate this call, looking for any unnecessary or excessive contact? But they were identical plays where a Lynx player came down with the basketball and was trying to wrestle the ball free, trying to create space for themselves, and a Fever player just happened to be right on top of them. And that's how that contact happens. So this play currently under review, 4:02 remaining. Minnesota leading by 10, 87 to 77. It was McBride coming down with the offensive rebounds. And then Hull with her chest on McBride's back. And McBride does, rip through that ball, trying to secure some possession and clear some space. But this refereeing crew looking again for any unnecessary or excessive contact to possibly elevate this foul. Lynx basketball is brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is proud to be the official bank of the Minnesota Lynx. So still a 10-point lead for the Lynx. The Indiana Fever able to bring it within 9 just a couple moments ago, but it still has felt like Minnesota has been really secure and confident in protecting this lead, but that hasn't always been the case this season. In fact, when you look at just fourth quarter scoring, closing out games, Minnesota has scored 15 points or fewer in 3 straight fourth quarters. They've been outscored, and that does include their losses to at the Liberty and at the Dream, where they have been outscored by 4 points, then 8 points, and then 8 points over that 3-game span. So they're, I think, trying to regain that kind of mojo they have in the fourth quarter, which is usually their most successful quarter when you look overall. They're plus 7 points in the second half, plus 2 points in the fourth quarter. It is a 10-point lead for Minnesota, 87 to 77, with 4 minutes left. This last play under review to see a possible elevation on this foul by Kayla McBride, who came down with an offensive rebound. Lexi Hull hit the floor as McBride was trying to secure possession and clear some space for herself, looking for a fast break opportunity.
Has been confirmed. The foul call number 10, Lexi Hull. There's also been a technical foul assessed on number 21, Kayla McBride.
So it looks like the original call, which was a foul on Lexi Hull, is going to stand, but there was also a technical foul called on Kayla McBride. .402 remaining. So if I have this right, the Fever, and here comes Kelsey Mitchell stepping up to the line. She's going to have the technical free throw, and then McBride should be shooting free throws on the other side because of that foul from Hull. Minnesota leads by 10. And certainly this fourth quarter flow has been affected by a bounty of whistles. And Mitchell, the high arcing shot is good. Mitchell with 26 points. She's 10 for 11 from the free throw line. And here comes McBride to shoot her free throws. Step aside for a moment to allow for a station ID.
Interviews, guests, press conferences, and every game can be heard right here all season long. The Minnesota Timberwolves channel on the iHeartRadio app.
McBride, her free throw rattled home. That is good. McBride now with 12 points and still perfect from the floor. Now, what's interesting is that she hasn't gotten a shot off in this second half. She was 4 for 4, including 3 of 3 shooting in the first half. But she goes 2 for 2 there from the free throw line. 89-78 is Minnesota's lead with 4 minutes to go. Minnesota had the opportunity to pile on points, and a foul is going to go on Bridget Carlton. And this happened 2 nights ago, where Kelsey Mitchell was the ball handler, and Carlton was called for a foul. She said, "She's using her off arm to hook me." And she had the exact same reaction. And Carlton is so subdued in her demeanor on the court that when she is demonstrative, it catches your attention. You think, maybe she's making a point here. Kelsey Mitchell is going to throw it over to Boston over her head. Boston kicks it out. 5 seconds to shoot for the Fever. Minnesota leading by 11 here late. Extra pass, 1 second left. Lexi Hull is short from 3. The long rebound tracked down by Smith. And Minnesota takes back over control. 89-78 is their lead. Williams working through a pick and roll. Smith got tied up, and a foul is going to go on the Fever. For good measure, Williams falls down after that whistle. It's been a physical fourth quarter here, but the Indiana Fever have been struggling mightily defensively. They have allowed at least 93 points in back-to-back games. This could be 90-plus in 4 straight games. And in fact, their last 7 games, opponents are scoring 89 points against them. So Minnesota has really met that call to take advantage of team this 8th and best rating and struggling here of late. Smith got the first free throw. Remember, Minnesota's shooting free throws. They've been in the bonus since about the 6-minute mark of this fourth quarter, so they've been able to rattle home those free throws. Smith goes 2 for 2. She's under 50% this season, but Minnesota leads 91-78 down the home stretch. Approaching 3 minutes to go. Kelsey Mitchell stomps on a dime, leaves it for Boston in the pick and roll. She'll kick it out of the paint. Quick extra pass here is Hull for 3. That's way off target. Doesn't hit rim. And Williams comes away with the basketball. Throws it up ahead to a sprinting Alana Smith, who finishes on the run for 2. Courtney Williams with a double-double. She still has 0 turnovers with her 10 assists. And Minnesota, a timeout called on the run right now. 93-78, leaving no doubt about what here tonight at Target Center. We're going to step away for a moment here of the rest of this one when we return on the Minnesota Lynx Radio Network.
Discover a new podcast from our library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
He has been called to an adventure. His heart aches to go. His family says no. He knows his destiny is out there. Wistfully, he scans the horizon. The breeze tussles his hair. Dusk is approaching. He watches the sun set. He watches 2 suns setting. In 1977, movies changed forever. And so did the hopes and dreams of a generation. All because of one man and his imagination. The cosmic clash of good against evil a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. This is the story of that man and his dream. The people who made it happen, and the people who did their very best to stop it dead. It was made on a shoestring and dumped into a handful of theaters, and then it changed the world. This is a 7-part dive inspired by an unforgettable classic movie. From Wondery, I'm Mark Ramsey, and this is Inside Star Wars.
Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts all in one.
78, Minnesota with the lead with 3:05 remaining in this contest. Sloan Martin along with you here on this Sunday night. And the Minnesota Lynx led by Nafisa Collier in her return from a 7-game absence. She injured her ankle at Las Vegas on August 7th, has missed 7 straight games in which the Lynx went 5-2. Their only losses on the road against teams who could be as high as number 2 in the standings at New York and at Atlanta. But Nafisa Collier came back with force tonight. 30 points, her 6th 30-point game this season. And we're awaiting if she will get her 6th double-double this season. She got 9 rebounds that she's been sitting on here for some time. But an outstanding game by Nafisa Collier. 11 of 16 shooting en route to this 30 points to just remind everybody and reestablish herself that this is the leader in the MVP conversation. Minnesota back on the defensive side. The Fever with the basketball, who might be running out of steam here with under 3 minutes to play. Boston will hand it off to Kelsey Mitchell. Mitchell, the 3rd leading scorer in the WNBA this season. Powers barrels her way, and Courtney Williams, a nasty block on Boston on the interior. You can hear that pop from up here. Shea Petty, though, is going to drive inside, and I think that may have even hurt Williams' hand. She was kind of favoring it. That's how hard she hit that ball, and she's still trying to make sure it's okay as she dribbles up the floor, but that was a ferocious rejection by Courtney Williams. My goodness. 93-80 is Minnesota's lead as the ball is poked away out of bounds. And 10 seconds to shoot here for the Fever. 2:22 on the clock. Minnesota offensively is 2 for 7 in this 4th quarter, but 9 for 10 on the free throw line. That has really been steering the ship right now offensively, because the Fever gotten Minnesota into the bonus at about the 6-minute mark of this quarter. So it has been a steady march to the free throw line for the Minnesota Lynx. And Nafisa Collier will knock that one down. She's 7 for 8. 30 points, 9 rebounds. Also joining her in double figures, Kayla McBride's 13 points on perfect shooting, 4 of 4. Collier good on the second. And Courtney Williams with her 2nd double-double this season, 14 points, 10 assists, and 0 turnovers. 2:15 to go. It is 95-80, and Alana Smith is going to be whistled for a foul. She was trying to defend Leah Boston at the elbow, and that's going to be her 4th. Alana Smith, been fun to watch in this one, because Leah Boston was getting the advantage to start this game. She had quick 8 points right after the tip on 4 of 4 shooting. She's got 14 right now, so she's been held in check for a long time by Smith. And she's going to go 0 for 2 from the free throw line. It will be Minnesota basketball leading by 15. This equals the largest lead of the game. And Minnesota barely led in that first half. They had a lead of 3-2. They didn't get it back again until the closing minutes of that second quarter. They were down by as many as 10 points. Back-to-back games against the same Fever team, working from behind. First at Gamebridge Fieldhouse 2 nights ago, and then here tonight at Target Center. But they broke out of that in the exact same way they did. Eerily similar in some ways, these games. 10 seconds to shoot for the Lynx. Under 2 minutes to go here in Minneapolis. Carlton tries to turn the corner. She'll pull up at the free throw line off target, and the rebound tracked down by Boston. And a timeout called by the Indiana Fever, trailing by 15, 95-80, with 1:49 to go. We're going to step away here for a brief moment, and we'll have the rest when we come back on the Minnesota Lynx Radio Network.
At U.S. Bank, they are not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
back-to-back games for the first time this season. On the recent road trip, Minnesota right now playing their fourth game in 6 days in the fourth different city and trying to make it now 2 wins in a row. Back again where they're comfortable. 95-80 is their lead. 1:49 left coming out of this fever timeout. Sloan Martin along with you to close things out here at Target Center as Minnesota creeping closer and closer to the 30th win of the season and trying to make it back-to-back 30-win seasons for this Lynx team. Back-to-back games scoring 95 points. Minnesota, has the best offense in the WNBA this season, but especially after the All-Star break. A 114 offensive rating, and that continues to climb as well. They've been nearly untouchable for defenses. Sims will kick it out from the free throw line. 5 seconds now to shoot for the Fever coming out of that timeout and looking lost here. Off a flare, here comes Powers. 1 second to shoot. She's not going to get it off in time. So after a timeout, the Fever still turn it over on a shot clock violation. Minnesota leads by 15, and substitutions starting to come in for the Minnesota Lynx. Here comes Cameron Taylor making her WNBA debut. Cameron Taylor signed on August 8th, played in Greece this season, has played in back-to-back training camps for the Minnesota Lynx. That says a lot about a person. If you get a second invite, her positive energy, her size, a lot to like for her. Jalen Sherrod, her second game as a Lynx player, played 1 minute near her home state of Alabama. She's on the floor right now. Came in and doing Laurie Kosu and Jessica Shepard also into the contest as well. Carlton has that stripped away by Powers. 3 seconds left. It's going to stay here with Minnesota. So it's Carlton, Shepard, Sherrod, Kosu, and Taylor. But Taylor didn't end up making a WNBA roster last year. Comes back to assist the Lynx when they were shorthanded without Nafisa Collier. And officially gets to register game in the league. Here's Sherrod. No good on the baseline jump shot off the sideline out of bounds. Minnesota still leads by 15, 95-80, 102 to go in this contest. And Minnesota is inching closer and closer. This is going to mean 30 wins for this team. In back-to-back 30 wins. It's just the 5th team in WNBA history to the 30-win plateau. They came into today, their magic number 3 to secure home court advantage through the entirety of the playoffs. They entered today with a 5.5 game lead over the Atlanta Dream. And this is an important one here. 2 in a row for the Lynx. 40 seconds left. 95-82 is Minnesota's lead. Shepard has it against Michaela Timpson in her first action today, a rookie from Florida State. Kosu barreling her way in, loses the basketball. And it will stay Minnesota basketball. 4 seconds to shoot. 95-82 is their lead. Minnesota also leading the WNBA as they have all season long in point differential. Entering today plus 10. Just one of a handful of teams to ever do that. And the other teams who have had a double-digit point differential have won a WNBA championship. Carlton along the baseline, knocking it down to beat the shot clock. About 2 seconds separating shot and game clock. Waiting for this one to become official. 18 seconds to go. The Fever with the basketball. Minnesota sitting at 97 points in this 15-point lead. And Bree Turner will slice her way to the rim. 9.4 seconds left. And Minnesota just has to dribble this one out. An explosion in the second quarter, and Minnesota achieves back-to-back 30-win seasons. The final from Target Center, 97-84, and the triumphant return of Collier with her 6th 30-win this season. She finishes with 32 and 9 rebounds on 11 for 16 shooting. Picking up right where she left off for the Minnesota Lynx in a eye-popping performance after a 7-game layoff due to an ankle injury. And reestablishing herself at the top of the pecking order here when it comes to best player in the WNBA. I'm sure this feels great for her, too, to be able to wave and celebrate to her fans. And offense in this building. 97-84 is Minnesota's victory. They improved to 30-7 this season, 18-1 at home. And Collier, talk about a triumphant return, also to do the jump at half courts with Courtney Williams. As per tradition, jump into the slide. She is officially back with her 32 points. Minnesota shoots 57% for this entire game against the Fever team that, as I mentioned, has struggled defensively, especially of late at this point in the season. In fact, the season high for the Minnesota Lynx shooting-wise was 59% at Las Vegas. That was that 53-point win. So that is right in the territory of that kind of dominance with the way they finished tonight. 12 for 21 shooting from three, 13 of 14 from the free throw line. They out-rebound the Fever 30-25. 4 in double figures, including Maria Klyundikova, who is so solid off the bench. 13 points in 14 minutes for the Minnesota Lynx. 97-84 is the victory here for the Lynx in another parallel where they were able to take control of this game in the closing minutes of the second quarter. We are joined now by Lynx guard Kayla McBride. I'm so glad you're joining me again. I appreciate it very much. We talked after that Indiana game, and you said we are not going to lose 3 in a row. You take on this Indiana Fever team. And similar storyline, we took control in that second quarter. Take me through how this game started and how this team again was able to take the reins at that point.
A little rocky first quarter yet again. I don't know what it is about these guys. We don't have good first quarters against them. Just kind of getting our feet back, especially with feet back in the rotation, which was beautiful sight to see. But it's all about our defense. When we dictate and we use our defense advantage to get on transition, that's where we're at our best. That's when everybody is, having to be, and everybody's touching the ball, everybody's moving around, and that's where we want to be, and that's what you saw in the second quarter on.
You're right, it's beautiful sight to see. 32 points for Feet. She was efficient, double-double. Let me just pick right back up where all of you left off with her coming back on the floor.
I mean, amazing. I mean, she's an MVP for a reason. We've been seeing her putting the work to get back on the court with us. I know she's been missing it. Shout out Chuck. Chuck's harder than the games. If anybody knows Chuck, he's harder than the games. You can ask Feet. So she was happy to be back out there. Just find her footing. She couldn't catch the ball the first couple possessions. But then she found her footing real quick. I said, as soon as you get hit one time, and that competitive energy turns on, to be fine. And that's what happened. So a great game. I mean, it's not easy to be out 3 weeks and just kind of seamlessly put yourself back in that position. But that's just who Fee is. She's a great basketball player. And it's really easy for her. She handles herself with grace per usual.
I have to ask you too, watching from the bench, Maria Klyundikova, 13 points in her 14 minutes. And it felt like when Fee was out, where everyone was able to step up in different ways, and she just brought composure today.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think it was actually kind of good for us to get, Jess, Mosh, and people like that, just extra time on the court, especially with the starting group. And now it's really seamless. Everything, we really know each other at a high level right now. So it doesn't matter who's out there, especially for myself. Bridge, we can play with Jess, Mosh, Land, Fee now, and that's what makes it so dangerous, is that it can be anybody's night. Anybody can score on the court at any time. So shout out them too as well. I thought it was just like I said, it's just a team effort per usual. I mean, 13, 18, 23 off the bench again. I mean, that's just, it's priceless, as we move down the stretch, just how important our bench is for us. So yeah, it's the name of the game. That's who we are.
That's really impressive how you added that up on the fly. I'm impressed there. Last question for you, Mac, is just the way this offense is clicking right now with back-to-back 90-point games. Of course, this is the best offense in the WNBA, but how is just feeling right now as a cohesive group?
Good. I mean, this is 4 games in 6 days, so that doesn't feel very good. That's the tough part about it, but where we are as a team, we're just so connected. We have so much trust in one another, and we've been through some resilient adversity situations, and so we just have a lot of trust in who we are for 40 minutes. And we think as a team, as a group, it's really, really hard to beat us in a 40-minute game. And that's who we want to be. And that's who we're going to continue to be. So right now, I think we're very, very confident. Obviously we have this short stretch to go before playoffs, but I like where we are right now. Just our competitive mindset and just wanting to be better. And now I know Cheryl's going to have us back and doing the details and show defense these next couple of days before we see Seattle. So I don't know how much I'm looking forward to that.
4 games in 6 days versus practice.
So we'll see. But it's good to get a dub at home for sure.
Kayla McBride, thank you so much. Congratulations on this win.
Thank you.
Back-to-back 30-win seasons for the Minnesota Lynx, the 5th team in WNBA history to reach that mantle, and they've done it in 2024 and 2025. The final score here, 97-84. The Minnesota Lynx with the victory over the Indiana Fever, and they take this regular season series between these two teams. They'll play one more time September 9th at Indiana to try and go for the sweep. All right, we're going to have our post-game show coming up next here on the Lynx Radio Network. When we come back, we'll see if we can drop into some post-game press conferences. I'm sure we want to hear from Nafisa Collier about her return after missing 7 games for the Minnesota Lynx. We'll see if we can get that. Plenty more coming your way. We'll break this all down. Minnesota 30-7 this season. I'll talk about it when we come back on the Minnesota Lynx Radio Network.
Discover a new podcast from our library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
One thing I learned when I started working at National Geographic is that you never want to get into a storytelling competition in this place. You'll be walking down the hall on a random Tuesday and overhear something just knocks the breath out of you and raises a bunch of questions that you just got to get answered.
So imagine The Walking Dead on a subantarctic volcano with mice and albatrosses. It's a horror show, basically.
It's a 3,000-year murder mystery. It's the murder of Pharaoh. I think everybody loves a murder mystery.
These whales are having an American Idol of the ocean.
Okay, well, this is going to top it all. Let's go diving in a pyramid.
I'm Peter Gwynn, a Nat Geo writer and editor, and now a podcast host. Each week on our new show, Overheard at National Geographic, we'll venture down one of these mysterious wormholes and meet the explorers and scientists at the edges of our big, weird, beautiful world. Overheard at National Geographic. Listen in.
Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts all in one.
By Boston, McBride throws it inside Nafisa Collier, who will post up 2 dribbles, fade, and hit. Nafisa Collier with 16 points on 7 of 9 shooting, putting on a show right now in her return. Now, tonight's Mayo Clinic moment of excellence. At Mayo Clinic, we're doing what's never been done. Nafisa Collier leading the way for the Minnesota Lynx in their 30th victory of the season, her 6th 30-point game this season. 11 of 16 shooting, had 9 rebounds as well as a couple of assists and 2 steals as the Lynx defeat the Indiana Fever 97-84 to take the season series. One more meeting coming up. Welcome into our Lynx post-game show. Sloan Martin along with you here from Target Center in downtown Minneapolis, where we're going to go over how Minnesota was able to get it done today and take their 30-point season back-to-back 30-point wins. And in fact, not 30-point wins, 30-win seasons, and 30 marks a season high for any Lynx team. That is the franchise record. This is, of course, we've already known what a special, dominant season this is, but as we start to get down the home stretch with 7 games left, you really start to feel that even more. Let's start off with the third quarter, and it was extremely reminiscent, in fact, eerily so, from the matchup between these two teams just 2 days ago, which Minnesota won 95-90, where the Indiana Fever were in red hot to start this game, and Lynx was really struggling defensively. They surrendered 30 points in that first quarter. They trailed by 10, although going into the second quarter, they halved that. But the Indiana Fever shot 55%. And the fact that Minnesota shot 63% and still trailed, a big reason for that. They had 5 turnovers that led to 11 points for the Indiana Fever. So it felt like, yet again, we're kind of getting themselves into a hole, and working on that uphill climb the rest of the way. Moving on to the second quarter, Maria Kliudakova put up 11 points in her, 8 minutes on the floor in that second quarter. And what was interesting is, I think, especially after Jessica Shepard put up most recently against this Indiana Fever team, the second triple-double in Lynx franchise history, tied her career high with 22 points, had a career high 11 assists, and also had the fastest triple-double in WNBA history. What her role might be going back to the bench. And in the first half, Jessica Shepard ends up playing under 5 minutes, and Maria Kliudakova stepped in and was able to calmly knock down shots, defend around the rim. 11 points on 5 of 6 shooting. That included a 3, an assist in there as well. And Minnesota outscored the Indiana Fever 27-15. They went from 5 turnovers in that first quarter to just 1 in that second quarter, and ended that second quarter on 11-0 run. Because to that point, Minnesota had trailed almost the entirety of that first half. Their first and, to that certain point, only lead was 3-2 in the very early goings of this game. It wasn't until the last couple of minutes where they exploded to take control of this game. They shot 12 for 19 in that second quarter, had 11 assists on those 12 buckets, and held the Indiana Fever to just 5 for 12 shooting to just take the reins. It happened a little bit earlier in this game than it did in Indianapolis 2 nights ago. Minnesota did not have a single lead in that first half before the third quarter that ushered in their control of the game, and then they were able to keep the Fever at arm's distance and win by 5 points. So it happened in the last couple of minutes of the second quarter where the flip was switched and Minnesota was in the driver's seat at that point. So at the first half, Nafisa Collier had 14 points on 6 shooting, 6 rebounds. She was making sure everyone remembered who is the leading scorer in the WNBA and who is leading the MVP conversation as well. Minnesota putting up 52 points, led 52-45, their largest lead of 7 points. Remember, they had only just taken the lead for officially the second time in the last couple of minutes. Looking at the third quarter, Collier unstoppable, 9 points for her on 4 of 6 shooting. Courtney Williams was also incredibly strong, 8 points on 3 of 4 shooting for Courtney Williams. And Minnesota still able to outscore the Fever 25-21. They outscored them in the second quarter 27-15, and were able to maintain that, build a 15-point lead, and they were continuing to build that moving on in this contest. In the fourth quarter, the Fever made it a 9-point game a couple of times. That is as close as they got, and Minnesota was able to maintain it. And then it was another late game explosion as well, especially for the free throw line. In the fourth quarter alone, they went 11 of 12 from the free throw line, including 7 from Nafisa Collier. She had 9 points in that fourth quarter, in a very balanced effort there in the fourth quarter. And Minnesota prevails 97-84. Their largest lead was 15 in this victory, improving them to 30-7 this season, 18-1 here at Target Center. Nafisa Collier mentioned her stat line: 32 points, 11 for 16, 9 rebounds for Nafisa Collier in her return from a 7-game absence due to a right ankle injury. Also joining her in double figures, Maria Kliudakova with 13 points on 6 of 7 shooting. She also had 3 rebounds, and 2 assists in there as well. Kayla McBride, who you just heard from, definitely a friend of our broadcast. We hear from her often after our different broadcasts and appreciate her time very much. 13 points on 4 of 4 shooting. She didn't take a shot, though, in the second half, but she ends perfect 100% shooting in this game. Courtney Williams was also outstanding. 14 points, 10 assists, her second double-double this season. But I think the biggest thing that maybe Coach Reeve has noticed in this box score is 0 turnovers. So her second double-double this season, her 7th game of having 0 turnovers. And Courtney Williams had been kind of slowed down the last 2 games, 4 points per game on 21% shooting, 0 for 4 from 3, had 6 turnovers over those last 2 games as well, but remains second in the WNBA to Alyssa Thomas in her assists per game, 6.1. And the way I thought that she orchestrated things tonight, the way she kept things in control, helped Minnesota shoot 57% for this entire game to have 28 assists. That is a big number, even for this team that leads the WNBA in that category. She was a catalyst, and she was also just in command of how this team was operating. Also off the bench, Tisha Hyden with 5 points, Dejanay Carrington with 5 points, Carlton with 7 with a triple for her, Elena Smith with 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and I mentioned McBride with her 13 points as well. Minnesota scoring 97 to win 97-84 over this Indiana Fever team that falls 19-18 this season. They were without Chloe Bibby for the second straight game, who was also a late signing for this injury-riddled team, and 4 players out for the season as they try and cobble together a run to the playoffs to try and secure that spot. They were led by Kelsey Mitchell's 26 points, 7 for 12 shooting. She hit 10 free throws of 11 attempts in this one. So Kelsey Mitchell continues to really be on a tear with her scoring. Third in the WNBA. It's a career high if it holds up for her. 20.6 points per game, coming off a 27-point game against Minnesota. She follows that up with 26 points against this Lynx team. In fact, in 22 career games against the Lynx, she has had 20 plus the last 7 now, and 13 times of those 22 games. So she has been a tough one to handle, certainly leading the WNBA in total threes with the last 7 games, 25 points, 44% shooting, 27 for 53 from 3. And it was not enough, even though she continued those kind of high marks of this offensive career season that she is having. Shea Petty had 16 points per second game with the Indiana Fever, but Minnesota was able to keep in check what they needed to. Head coach Cheryl Reeve said it was completely about the defense, about coming back and playing the same team in consecutive contests from beating Indiana 2 nights ago. And she said, our defenders around the perimeter, our guards were getting shredded by their guards. And I think Minnesota, even though Kelsey was able to really break out in this one with 26 points, I think that they were able to better accomplish keeping those players in check. And this 97-84 win for the Lynx, improving them to 30-7 this season. All right, Alex and I are going to be back to wrap things up when we return right here on the Minnesota Lynx Radio Network.
Looking to shoot your shot and score big, all while giving back to your community? Pilot Games is bringing entertainment with exciting electronic pull tabs to bars and restaurants across Minnesota. Every play is a shot at a jackpot and an assist to a local charity. It's entertainment with risk. So next time you're out, look for Pilot Games. Big wins, local impact. Learn more at pilotgames.com.
Ever wonder how artificial intelligence or 3D printing is used to solve medical problems? Or how research is discovering new ways to slow or even stop medical conditions we used to think of as untreatable? I'm Kathy Wurzer. Listen to Tomorrow's Cure, a podcast where I interview experts from Mayo Clinic and other renowned organizations. What they describe may sound futuristic, but listen and you'll find out Tomorrow's Cure is already here. Find it now wherever you get your podcasts.
Here, final segment of our post-game show at Target Center. The Minnesota Lynx victorious over the Indiana Fever. The final score 97-84. As I welcome in my partner at our WNBA Tonight studios right here in Target Center, Alex Leibold. And Alex, this was the 4th game in 6 days in 4 different cities. Kayla McBride was quick to point that out as well. This has been a tough stretch, and you get back to Nafisa Collier, maybe not the prettiest way that this team wants to win, but get another example of them flipping a switch and becoming the Minnesota Lynx that we're used to seeing.
Yeah, they found themselves into a 10-point deficit yet again. This is now the 10th time this season that the Lynx have won after trailing by double digits. They did it again just on Friday, but I think, I don't know, it just felt like Nafisa Collier was back like she never left. I mean, just from the jump, she was scoring efficiently, and she finished. She was dominating the glass with 9 rebounds. She was providing steals like she does as she's coming off of a Defensive Player of the Year last season, so we know how good she is on that side of the floor as well. But you can also tell how the team plays around her as well. They just step up their game, and the gravity that Nafisa Collier brings to the court is so immense. I mean, Courtney Williams with that 14-point, 10-assist double-double without any turnovers, she was able to find those open passes and find the open player for a good shot, as the Lynx shot 57%. I think it all came down to that small run there to end the half, that 11-0 run when Maria Kliondakova scored 7 of those 11 points, and then coming out of the halftime break, Nafisa Collier scores 5 straight to really rub it in that the Lynx are going up 12 and they are not letting go of this lead. So an all-around great win. It's so great to have Nafisa Collier back and to watch her do what she does best. And this is her 6th 30-point game, just like I said, she never left.
No, that's exactly what it was. In case anybody had forgotten about her presence, she made that well known. And it sounds like she and Courtney Williams are set to talk with media right here at Target Center. So let's tune in.
Turnovers, shot was falling. What is it about you that just you can bounce back from maybe those tougher moments like you do?
I got short-term memory. I don't really care what happened last game. I honestly don't even really care what happened last play. I move on. So that's always been my mentality. I just move on to the next one. We got more games to play.
And Terry asked Fee about her performance tonight, but just, you were sharing the court with her. What was it like being out there with Fee again?
Oh, man, it's relief. I told her before the game, I'm sick of taking 18 to 20 shots. I'm ready to get back to 10 to 12. And you see tonight, good at 11. So it feels good to have feedback for sure.
Courtney, you said something on the court after the out, it's not so noisy, but somebody asked you, how good is this team now at full strength?
We a problem. That's what I said. We've been a problem. Now we really a problem.
And Friday, Masha in that second quarter, I think she had like 13 points, but it seemed like her defense was maybe a key for this squad tonight. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, Mosh gave us great minutes. I mean, what she was doing on both ends of the court, she's so long. So on defense, it's so hard to get shots around her. She's a problem for the post players. It's nice to get a different kind of look for them as well. And then on offense, she's so versatile. She kind of has that European game where she has that finger roll at the basket. She can shoot from outside. She gets rebounds for us. So Mosh is such a great addition for us.
Thanks. And then Courtney, just a moment ago you talked about having short-term memory. But can you take us in that first quarter? And you picked up those 2 early fouls.
Yeah.
And how do you get past that when you're sitting in the bench that second half of the first quarter?
Oh, well, my dog T go out there and she do her thing. We really a 1-2 punch. So if I got to sit down, my confidence don't ever trail away because I know T gonna go out there and hold it down. So I felt good.
And then for either of you, 30 wins on the season, the first team to do that this year, as you keep progressing on to your goal. I mean, how does it feel to hit that milestone?
I don't know if the 30 is anything, but I think it's just indicative of how we're playing, like how good the team feels, that we feel like we're hitting our stride. We're at full strength right now. Hopefully we can stay that way. I think when we are playing our defense, I don't think there's anyone that can beat us. Like, we are just so connected. Our chemistry is so great. We have amazing players. So I feel great. It's a good time to be a Lynx.
Court, it feels like every week we're talking about a new chapter of, this Stud Buds legend just continuing to grow. But took a lap around the arena tonight right after the arena doors opened, and the line to get the Stud Buds Slam shirts was already just wrapping around. And,
talk to me.
Fever fans in line to get their picture taken in front of everything too.
Don't it?
Did you get moments to just kind of look around and this kind of let it, just think about how cool it is? Yeah.
Hell yeah. I wake up every morning thanking God that I'm here. So it's a blessing, man. To have everybody, like I say all the time, just lean into us. Something that the league like I say all the time, like you haven't really seen in the league. So for us to be masculine women and for the fans and the W and, I mean, even our staff, like Cheryl had it on, had her pink blazer on. Like, it's just all the love, man. We love it. We appreciate it. And shout out to all the fans and all our supporters for sure. What do I hope? I hope it just lets everybody know that they can be themselves. They show love. Get these brand deals, get this money, get in front of the TV screen. Like, it don't matter what you look like. Long as you being yourself, people will lean into you.
Corin, it's a record you already had with the single season assist record that you broke again. Was that something you knew kind of coming in tonight that you could crack?
No, of course not. Cheryl keeps me humble.
But I guess just in terms of that, like, obviously last season, being such a strong one and just coming into this season and posting her highs in a lot of different statistics. I mean, what do you think it is for you personally that's kind of just leveled up in that way?
I mean, honestly, I think it's having Lindsay, having Wade. Man, she constantly in my ear just telling me different things that I can improve on. The way I can look at the game. The mixture of her and Cheryl just constantly in my ear, just letting me know how I can be better. So definitely having those guys on my side definitely elevated my game for sure.
Sloan Martin, Alex Leipold, along back with you here at Target Center. Really enjoyed that from Courtney Williams. Her first thing she said is relief. And back, she's shooting about 18 times per game. The ball always in her hands too. So it really feels appropriate that Nafisa Collier comes back, has a 30-point game. Courtney Williams has a double-double, 10 assists, 0 turnovers. It feels like everything is right and feeling more settled. And like Nafisa Collier said too, and hopefully we can be at full strength through the rest of the way. Alex, though, on deck for the Minnesota Lynx is the Seattle Storm, who have been up and down, but mostly down of late. I'll take them on right here at Target Center on Thursday.
Yeah, this is a Seattle Storm team that are 20-18 right now in the WNBA. After the Fever fall to the Lynx here today, the Storm actually jump up to 6th place, a half game ahead of the Fever, but still 10.5 games behind the Lynx in the standings. They sit in 6th place. They started this month on some poor form. They lost 7 in a row to begin August, but since then they've won 4 of their last 5, 3 in a row. So maybe they've turned the corner there a little bit. I spoke earlier about how they beat the Washington Mystics today on that Nneka Ogwumike game-winning shot with 1 second to go. She finished with 3 points in that one. But this is a Seattle Storm team that has given the Lynx a hard fight each and every matchup that they've played. They've played 3 times this year. Lynx have taken 2 of them, but the 2 that the Lynx have won have been separated by 5 points or less. And when the Storm won over the Lynx back in June, the Storm won by 10 points. So the Storm know how they can put up a fight with any given team in the league. They have the talent and they have what it takes. So it'll be a hard-fought game come Thursday at the Target Center as the Lynx are really trying to push themselves into that 1 seed in the playoffs.
The Seattle Storm have been difficult for the Minnesota Lynx, no doubt. I think because of their size and their length. When you talk about having Ezzy Nagbagor, who's one of the best defenders in the WNBA, Nneka Ogwumike, who continuing to play at an all-WNBA kind of level, and then Dominique Malonga has really emerged, and even head coach Cheryl Reeve, I remember her saying in Seattle earlier this season just how impressed she is with this kind of player, the ceiling that she has, and how exciting it is as a league to have someone with her kind of potential at, I believe she's still 19 years old at this point. So that is what makes Seattle a handful. But you're right, maybe turning a quarter here at this point as we head really into the home stretch right now. The final here between the Lynx and the Fever, 97-84. They improved to 30-7 this season. Alex Leipold, I'm Sloan Martin. Thanks so much for tuning in here on this Sunday night. We will catch you later on this week on Thursday. The Lynx taking on the Seattle Storm right here on the Lynx Radio Network.
Find your iHeartRadio everywhere. There are hundreds of ways to experience iHeartRadio at home and on the go, beyond the iPhone and Android app and at iHeartRadio.com. Here's another way to connect to iHeartRadio. Just ask Google Assistant for your favorite radio stations, and iHeartRadio will be there for you on your Google Home, Google Mini Nest Hub, Nest Mini, Android TV, and any device that uses your Google Assistant. The convenience of playing all your favorites hands-free. Just say, okay, Google, play to get your favorite AM/FM stations from iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio, everywhere you want to listen, including in your home and office through your Google Home, Google Nest Hub Mini, Nest Mini, Android TV, and any device that is Google Assistant powered. Check it out for free now. iHeartRadio, anywhere you want to listen, iHeartRadio is there.
You've been listening to Basketball, brought to you by U.S. Bank, an official partner of the Minnesota Lynx, equal housing lender, member FDIC, and by Mayo Clinic. You know where to go. This is a presentation of the Lynx Radio Network.
No, they're not going to trade him.
I need someone to throw the ball to.
But is that man who's only made like $10 million in his career, 7th round pick, is he going to miss games? He's going to sit out games?
No, I don't think so. But I mean, look, would he be a number one on other teams? No.
I don't think he's a number one on this team. I think Pearsall will be.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We don't know who Pearsall is yet. We'll see.
Yep.
But you can't sign your quarterback and not give him something to throw to. Especially, you can't throw games away with the easy schedule you guys have.
That's fair.
You can't do it.
Yep, that's fair. Okay, we did buy or sell quarterbacks last week. Buy or sell situations. Ian's got a few of them for us. We'll do that coming up next. Fox Sports Radio Studios. Mark and Eve from Fox Sports Radio.
We talk, and you love to listen.
Awesome. Love hearing you guys. Full laugh, man. Love it.
Now you can look. Look at that. Look at him.
Yo, what's up? I'm Kelvin.
Look at them.
Tom Brady is the man.
Don't turn away.
Take a closer look.
Fox Sports Radio. YouTube. Look.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because they're a school for real life. At UMGC, an accredited state university, you can earn up to 90 credits toward bachelor's for prior learning and relevant life and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits towards a master's. UMGC offers skill-based programs, low-cost tuition, and online and hybrid courses. No application fee if you apply by September 3rd. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu.
Summer's wrapping up, and life is picking back up. Early mornings, long days, and a to-do list that doesn't quit. And neither should you. Who has time to slow down due to body pain? That's why there's Aleve, to keep you going. With just one pill, Aleve delivers longer-lasting body pain relief per dose compared to other leading OTC-branded pain relievers. Aleve helps keep you moving from sunup to sundown with up to 12 hours of pain relief per dose, so you can keep moving and be ready for whatever's next. Use as directed.
Discover one of the CIA's illicit Cold War initiatives on the iHeartRadio original podcast, Operation Midnight Climax. An undercover brothel dosing unwitting Americans with LSD, a mind control experiment gone horribly wrong.
Back in the 50s, the government wouldn't watch Elvis Presley shake his hips on TV, but the same government was running a brothel in broad daylight.
Listen to Operation Midnight Climax on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like One Hit Wonders Radio. The greatest one-hit wonders of all time. Ones you definitely remember. And ones that'll make you say, oh yeah. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search One Wonders, and listen now, commercial-free. Free never sounded so good. The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like Freeform Radio. A unique blend of Americana, classic alternative, and roots rock. Open the free iHeartRadio app, search Freeform Radio, and listen now, commercial-free. Free never sounded so good. The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like iHeartRadio Cafe. Mellow classic rock and the greatest singer-songwriters of all time. Billy Joel, Carly Simon, James Taylor, Elton John, Carole King, and more. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search iHeartRadio Cafe, and listen now. We never sounded so good. Free iHeartRadio app, over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like 70s Rock Ride, Pink Floyd, Eagles, Van Halen, Tom Petty, Zeppelin, and more. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search 70s Rock Ride, and listen now. iHeartRadio, free never sounded so good.
iHeart is America's #1 podcast network. Open the free iHeart app and explore podcasts like this.
Just before midnight on Saturday, February 19th, 2005, Danielle Imbo and her friend Richard Petrone left a crowded Philadelphia bar. The two 30-somethings planned to walk to Richard's truck and drive home, but they never made it.
It does not make sense. It's like they literally vanished.
The two were never seen again.
Not just them, but a truck disappeared into the ether.
Was it an accident, or were they murdered?
No one had a motive to kill them.
Those same questions frustrated law enforcement. The FBI called it murder for hire.
Who killed these two individuals and how did they get rid of them?
Both of them weren't the target. One of them was the target. The other one was wrong place, wrong time.
But which victim was the intended target and why?
It was definitely murder for hire for Danielle, not for Richard.
You're right, it could be. But it also could be something your son did too.
No one was looking to kill Richard. No one.
He's your son, and in your eyes, he's innocent. In my eyes, he's just some guy my sister was with.
Fingers were pointed, allegations were made, and lines were drawn.
That drove the wedge between the families.
What happened to Danielle and Richard?
I think that whatever happened to my dad and Danielle was planned and orchestrated and thought out.
I'm Andrea Gunning. In this series, I dig into my own investigation to find answers for the families and get justice for Richard and Danielle.
I just want some peace for my sister's soul, and I want some peace for my mother.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
And FS1 on your television. Go to foxsports.com for details.
Go! Check them out.
FS1.
Check them out.
FS1.
Live in the Fox Sports Radio studios. That's it from Salam. I'm Mark Willard. Coming up at the top of the hour, how do you do your NFL Sundays? We got to get even Steve into this. I know how we end our NFL Sundays. We all get together here. But the process, the wake up, when's it start, where do you go, what do you eat, all of it. We're 2 weeks away. But right now, it's time for a little buy or sell. It's time for a little buy or sell. Let's get Ian Roddy in here to take it away.
All right, buy or sell. You guys know how it works. I'm just going to present a few situations to you guys from around the NFL and you're going to tell me whether you're buying or selling stock in that situation. It'll make sense as we go here. So let's start with this. A Marvin Harrison Jr. bounce back season. Ephraim, what do you think? He had a little bit of an underwhelming rookie year. Do you believe in him having a bounce back year as a sophomore here?
Man,
that's an amazing pause.
That's a tough one.
That was a great pause.
Oof. No, I'm selling.
You're selling?
Yeah, I'm selling.
Don't believe in Kyler?
No, and look, I'm not a fan, right? And I'm not a fan. I know he came in and took the league by storm, and it just hasn't paid off. I think he's too small. I think he relies on his feet too much. But as you get injured, your feet are less and less reliable. And I don't see him, throwing for 3,500, 4,000 yards. I just don't see it.
I'm also going to sell, but I'm not going to make it that much about Kyler. I'm sorry. I have a little bit of a problem with you calling it a bounce back, because bouncing back means that you were up on top to begin with, and then you fell and bounced back. He's never 800 yards in the rookie year, and again, he was a rookie. That's fine, but take it from somebody who grabbed him early in a fantasy draft last year and got caught in the hype and watched a lot of his games. Dude, it's just not there. They don't target him that much.
Yeah, that was a steep price in fantasy last year.
It was,
too.
and it just, I don't know, man. That's where I am now. I'm open to him being good, but I got to see it first. We haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Travis Hunter succeeding as a two-way NFL player and becoming football's version of Ohtani. Mark, you buying or selling?
Well, I'll buy it until you put the Ohtani part in. He's not like all. Buy him being successful on both sides of the ball. I'm not going to buy him becoming the best player in the sport, becoming an icon, and having an interpreter sent to prison. None of those things are going to happen. Sorry. Anyway, but no, I do buy that he's going to play well on both sides of the ball.
Ephraim?
I'm buying. I'm buying because it also depends on what your definition of winning is in terms of, is it 1,000 yards and 7 interceptions? And I think he can play both at a high level well. I don't think he is going to have 1,500 yards and 12 touchdowns and 9 picks and this and that. But I think he can, for the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think he is a dynamic player, and they need him on both sides of the ball.
All right, how about Mike Evans keeping his 1,000-yard streak alive? Remember, he had it every season he's been in the NFL, and he just barely got it last year. Ephraim, you buying or selling?
I'm selling, and I love Mike, and I love what Baker's doing, the resurgence. But, man, he barely got that thing last year. And as you get older, we know more injuries. I think he's their number one target. It just is going to be extremely difficult.
I hate to agree with you again, but yeah, I'm going to sell. Booming. Let's go. I'm going to sell. They had to sort of rig that thing last year. Remember, they started throwing the ball to him on every single down in order to get him past it. Last year, I think, Ibuka, this rookie, is real interesting. They got the ball. They got to spread the ball around a little bit there. I think Mike Evans will be fine. I'll have a good year, but I'm going to go under 999.5 yards on Mike Evans. Hey, Ian, did you have a few more?
I do.
Yeah, we'll come back. We'll come back.
We'll come back.
Started off with that.
We'll come back. Yeah, like we're not done. We got let's go. We're going into our final hour, and we got plenty of time. So a little more on that coming up next.
We are by force. Let's go.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Get the zone, AutoZone.
Bob's had the same car, Betty, since high school, and that was a while ago. Bob's dealt with wipers, slow starts, and a few warning lights. And every time, Bob went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped with free services and the right parts to keep Bob and Betty on the road. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
I'm Gary Veter, and I have a new limited series podcast called Number One Dad. In the 90s, my dad and I ran a con. For years, we snuck into the world's most prestigious arena, New York's Madison Square Garden.
Your dad is the type of person that likes an adventure and likes the possibility of opportunity.
As I got older, I learned this wasn't the only scheme my dad was pulling.
He wants me to act like my injury is even worse for a payout.
He actually represented me. He's posing as my attorney in a court.
There were moments where Manny would assume the role of undercover police officer.
My father's never-ending string of lies ultimately broke apart my family. And at 15 years old, I completely cut him out of my life. That was 24 years ago. But I just had a son of my own, and it brought back tons of memories of my childhood, along with tons of questions I wanted answered. How did my father become this scheming mastermind? Was he like this with everyone? And is it possible, after all these years, he's actually changed? I have no idea where he lives or what he's up to, but my goal with this podcast is to track him down and get to the truth about who my father, Manny Veter, really is. This is Number One Dad. Listen to Number One Dad.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
The free iHeart Radio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts. All in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an iHeart Radio podcast preview.
All right, well, the first thing I know that you need to obsess over customers.
That's Jeff Bezos, the founder and CEO of Amazon and the richest person on earth. And I'm Jason O'Reilly. As a reporter who's covered Amazon for the last 6 years, I've noticed that when I talk to Amazon employees, they all start to sound a lot like Bezos. There's this obsession with obsession.
Obsessive, compulsive focus on the customer.
And delight.
Customer delight.
Delight the customer.
It's Amazon speak. It's their way of saying their #1 mission is to make customers' lives better. But is that intense focus always a good thing? Or does it come at a cost? This is Land of the Giants, a podcast about the biggest tech companies of our time, how they got their power, what they're doing with it, and how they're changing our lives in the process. Our first season is called The Rise of Amazon. We find out from Amazon executives exactly how much they know about us.
So what we find is that customers who watch a movie that they love, they buy more Tide. They just do.
We talk to CEOs with strong feelings about the way Amazon does business.
It's rope-a-dope. They're playing with you until the time they come in with the knockout punch. And if I were them, oh my God, are they a retailer? They're a data management company.
We learn about Amazon's impact on small communities when they move in and when they leave.
When they told me they were closing, all I could think of was when I got driving home, I'm thinking, so what am I going to do in January when they close?
And we ask the question of our time. Is Amazon too powerful? Too big?
And we just don't want to be the United States of Amazon. We just really don't.
Land of the Giants, The Rise of Amazon.
Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one.
And here's what you need to know.
The New York Yankees have hit 4 home runs and lead the rival Red Sox 7-2 in the top of the ninth. Everything else final, including a Dodger win of 8-2 at San Diego. Those two tied for first again in the NL West. Shohei Ohtani hit his 45th home run of the season. At Seattle, the Mariners were up 11-1 in the third, 11-4 the final over the A's. Cal Raleigh in the M's 2 home runs. He has 49, most ever for a catcher in one season. Victories on the road for the Cubs and the Giants. Baltimore edged Houston 3-2. Wins for Cincinnati and Tampa Bay. Tommy Fleetwood won the PGA's Tour Championship. He earns the first place check of $10 million. The Minnesota Vikings signed veteran quarterback Carson Wentz. Minnesota traded quarterback Sam Howell to Philadelphia. The Browns released quarterback Tyler Huntley. Raiders backup QB Aiden O'Connell will miss 6 to 8 weeks with a broken wrist. WNBA Minnesota over Indiana. I'm Steve Sager.
This is Fox Sports Sunday. Fox Sports Sunday is on. The plays, the interviews, the players, the coaches, the breaking news, the top stories when it goes down. We will cover it all. Fox Sports Sundays right now. Live from the Fox Sports Radio studios. Here's Mark Willard and 13-year NFL veteran T. Rosamond.
Hey, we got 4 hour radio left talking about holdouts and cuts and rumors and innuendo. 4 hours. We got this one. We got 3 next week. Then after that, we're going to be reacting to football games. So that's what we're getting ready for here on Fox Sports Radio, broadcasting live in these Fox Sports Radio studios. Glad you are with us tonight. We will get back to buy or sell because there's plenty of still on that bone in just a second. But I know a little bit about your process, your Sunday process. Your boys aren't all that into it, are they?
You know what? The funny thing is, my 14-year-old, he had some questions about football out the blue, and I was like,
"Oh, when? Like this week?
This is the last couple of weeks."
Dang.
So he's in high school now. So his thing is he wants to have the high school experience. He wants to go to the football games and the dances and the basketball games. So I sat him down. We started watching games, and he's learning the positions and all of that. So we've been watching preseason games together and talking about it. It's been great. Like it's always been basketball or baseball in our family, and I just watch football because the kids can't play football. So it's been nice to actually sit down with both my boys and watch football. My youngest son's been playing Madden.
Hey.
So, okay. My wife was like, just so you know, they still not playing. Just so you know.
Yeah, you've always told me that you told them you played so they wouldn't have to. Yeah, you've always told me that.
Yep, that's the truth.
Okay. But will you have guests in your den?
Oh, no.
On Sunday?
No.
You
no guests.
Okay. What time do you get up on Sundays?
If there is a early game?
No London game. None of that.
Just regular?
Starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time.
I get up at 9.
You'll get up till 9?
I don't get up till 9.
I wish I could do that. That sounds fun.
But why? What's up?
No, I'm very, very wired like a morning person.
I am too.
I could not sleep or stay in the bed until 9 o'clock. To me, that feels like half the day is gone.
Now, normally I'm up at 7.
Okay.
Just in general.
Yep.
So my body will get up at 7. But if I don't get up and lay there, I can, and Saturday night's always the key too.